All right, good.
All right. So really the purpose of me doing these interviews is just to kind of add value to our audience and teaching or just kind of giving people tips and on business in general, and just kind of getting the word out about who you are and helping connect different people. So
Okay.
let's just give us a little bit of background about you. I know you are a business owner of multiple different businesses, been in business for 12 years, a military background. Just kind of give us a little background about you in more detail.
Well, a little bit more about me. I actually, of course, now I have my own business. I'm self-employed, but I did come out of the corporate world. I did basically business development. I trained a lot of people on how to build relationships with real estate agents. Mainly those people were loan officers. And so my last job, I covered Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and had about 300 reports to me. And then when the economy collapsed, at the recommendation of a friend, I started with the DJing, and it was just going to be something that I did while I went back to school. I was going to be a special ed teacher. And through everything, I just finally decided I didn't want to work for anybody else anymore. I wanted to do it my way.
Right.
And here we are. I've got the DJ company, which has been very good to us. And we put a lot of time and effort into that. And then we've built some business from that as well. You know, we have just a real small little side courier business. But also I just recently got my certification for leadership training through John Maxwell, and I'm extremely excited about that. That's something that's been a goal of mine for many, many years.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know you've done a couple other side things on top of that too. So you've done stuff with some network marketing as well too.
I do. I'm always looking for extra buckets. I don't want to have all my eggs in one bucket, so to speak. So I'm always looking to kind of spread out where my income's coming from. And I'm always looking for that opportunity to make passive income.
Yeah, I think that's super key. So, so as a photographer, it's kind of like you're there or you're not. You kind of, same thing with DJing. So creating something additional on the side to help kind of counteract that and have some passive income is really enticing to me as well. So I think that's great.
Not only that, one thing we learned coming into this was not only are we making a difference in our clients' lives, but we also make a big difference in our employee. So I call them team members. They're not really employees. They work alongside us. And that's how I want it to be. I don't really want to be a boss. I want to be a mentor and a leader and help people improve their lives so that as they move on in their life, I want to bring value. I want them to become better people and have a better life just from, knowing me, I guess, is real important to me.
So how do you go about doing that? I know that's important to you, but how do you bring value to your team members versus employees? Do you give them more ownership in what they do and value their input on your business, or what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I'm not really a micromanager. So what I do is in their training, I try to give them leadership roles. That's a good question. I was thinking about that a little bit about, what is it that we do? We try to let them learn and make mistakes, because you're only going to grow and you're only going to gain value or victory in losing first and then learning from those mistakes. So if you never make mistakes, you're never going to learn. So what we do is we give our guys or our team members a lot of training. As you know, they train for 3 years before they're released to do weddings. And the part of that reason is not only do they train, but I give them an opportunity to train others. So when they're training others, they're also learning other skills. So I think that really helps them develop themselves as well as their confidence.
Do you get a lot of retention? Do you have a lot of people that stay with you for a long time, or do you end up
we do get a lot of people that stay, but we also get a lot of people that don't make it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because how we do things is so much different. It's not a quick get rich type thing. It's you're going to make money, you're going to work a little bit, you're going to work a little more and a little more. And so by the end of that 3 years, you've had a lot of experience. You've seen a lot of weddings. You've been to a lot of other events, whether it be corporate, small little birthday parties, or running a karaoke show, a large karaoke show at a bar. I mean, we do small bars, we do larger bars. So we have a lot of different opportunities for them to deal with the public and to grow as people and to learn how to then hopefully become that teacher, that mentor, that leader on their side as well. So that's part of why I wanted to also get the training, is I want to be able to use that training for my team members and help them grow as people as well.
That's awesome. Yeah. So have you had the DJ business for 12 years, or?
I've had that as a business for 12 years.
Okay.
It's something I've done, I guess you could say I've done it seriously for 12 years. I did it for 2 or 3 years prior to that. Mainly just helping out who I call my mentor in the DJ world, the guy that bugged me enough to start doing it. I thought he was crazy. He said, I think this is right up your alley. You should do it while you go back to college. And so within, I don't know, about 18 months, we were making really decent money. And I was having a lot of fun. I love it. I mean, I'm at my happiest when I'm mixing music and watching people have fun and hearing the music and just seeing smiles on people's faces and watching everything that goes on. So it's kind of my true love that I didn't know I had until I got older. But I'm glad I found it probably just as well as I didn't find it when I was in my early 20s. Because, who knows? I may not be here by now. When you're always in celebration mode, and of course, we don't allow our people to drink when they work, especially at the weddings. Now at the bars, I know people buying shots and all that, but that is mainly for their protection. But then at the weddings, we don't allow them to drink, and that is for our clients' protection. We want to make sure that we have someone who is on top of their game 100% of the time and isn't going to embarrass the client, at their event. So that is, I've been doing this 12 years. It doesn't feel like 12. Now my body might say otherwise, but my mind, it's, we've grown several times. As you know, we recently kind of had a setback that turned out to be, and this is something that we've really kind of learned, these setbacks that we thought we were having have been growth opportunities. And so the first time we worked out of our home. First time we moved out, we rented a place. I think it was like $500 a month, and we were so stressed out. Like, oh my gosh, we're going to be able to do this. And then the second place we got, our rent doubled. And now here we are on our third location. And so we were at 2 years on one, 7 on the other, worked out a home prior to that. And here we are on our third location. And once again, the rent doubled. So, but we're already seeing the fruits of this. And,
that was even your choice.
Been around me enough to know if I meet somebody, I try to let them know I own a DJ company.
Yeah.
That's everywhere I go. It used to drive my wife nuts. And, she's like, why you tell everybody? I was like, well, they don't know that, nobody knows how to hire a DJ. If they know that somebody that comes into a restaurant and eats on occasion that they see and they're comfortable with, that we own a DJ, maybe they're going to get married. Maybe they're going to need a DJ. Maybe their friend is going to need a DJ. So I pretty much, spread the word that way. I was an early adopter of social media when it was actually working pretty good. Not that we're not having success, but everything I do, I don't look at it as the marketing event that's going to fund our business. I look at it as a way to get our business name out there so that people hear the name, and the more they hear the name, the more comfortable they're going to be. So that's kind of how I have built the marketing side of things.
So with you having multiple businesses, how do you build multiple businesses at the same time? You tell people that you're a DJ, but how do you get your information out about the other businesses?
Well, doing the transportation company was something that I thought was going to be a great thing. But what I didn't realize was that most of the companies keep all the money. They don't want to pay the drivers and the folks that own that business much money. So I was able to fund that company through the profits of the DJ company and kind of just started building it. And for the first year, we made a lot of money, but we spent a lot of money on repairs. You're talking about vehicles, vans that are getting over 1,000 miles a week put on them. So the repairs is something that was always kind of eating at the profits, so to speak. So we scaled back on that. Now we have just a small company with a few couriers, and they drive their own vehicles.
Yeah.
So we kind of scaled back on that, just because it was the repairs was eating up every bit of profit that we were getting, and it wasn't. I could see that it wasn't going to be very fruitful. Your folks like Amazon and all that, with the packages being delivered to the houses every day, they're paying almost near nothing to get these packages delivered. So those companies are struggling. And then you're starting to see that now. Your trucking industries, a lot of your trucking companies are starting to close. So I kind of seen the writing on the wall a little bit early and backed out of that. And as you know, we do the minister work. Mm-hmm. We have a small chapel in our office. And that's another thing. It's small. We're there. It's a service to the community. And so that, we enjoy doing that as well. Anything that I get to be involved in someone's lives for that special moment, that special time, is pretty meaningful to me. I'm blessed. I do work a lot, but I can pick and choose typically when I work now. So I'm blessed in that way now that it's finally 10 years later. I think for 7 years I must have worked about 7 days a week because I missed a lot of family events. I missed a lot of just special times that I look back. I wish I wouldn't have missed out on, but it has afforded me the ability to be there for more events now, since I do have 16 grandkids. So
wow.
That's a lot of birthday parties to try to get to.
And all on weekends, which is when you're
and always on weekends. That's right. So I still miss some of those, but I make up for it. Papa comes and sees them during the week or what have you.
So I love how the officiant business came about. So you would go to events as a DJ, and whoever they hired would sometimes be late or not show up at all. And so you found a need and found a way to fulfill it, to add more service to your clients. And I think that's key in any business, really. How many weddings have you, since you've gotten your officiant service per se, would you think that you were kind of that emergency backup even?
Oh, wow. While I was the DJ there?
Yeah, you were the DJ and then their officiant didn't show up.
I don't think I've had that happen since those 2 in a row that caused me to start doing this. But what we do find is we get a lot of calls last minute where a friend of a family or somebody, a relative that was going to be at the wedding was going to do it and they can't make it, or they got a new job and they're not going to be living in the area when the wedding comes up. So on that case, if you add those up, it comes up pretty often. A lot of people, They don't realize that when you're doing, say, a service for a client, you are guaranteeing them that you are going to be there that day. And sometimes when their friend or somebody they know is going to say they're going to do it, as you know, being in this industry, a million things could happen. They could move. They could get a transfer. They could be sick. Somebody else in their family could, that's going to, whoever the minister is going to be, somebody could be sick or having a baby and they can't make it to the wedding. So there's always that need that comes up, as well as we have our small little elopement, our elopement chapel that we have now. And then also we just started something new called the micro wedding. And so the micro wedding is they can come in with, roughly 20 guests or so. They'll get married. They can have a cake cutting, also have a non-alcoholic, because we don't have our liquor license, toast, as well as their, the first dance right there. We have a lot more room now. And then they can also bring in a photographer, or we can, build one into the package for them.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So you're able to expand and offer a little bit more now with
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And our new location actually has a full functioning, other than it doesn't have an oven, but it's got a sink in it, nice large kitchen with nice large kind of area that looks like a dance floor right outside the chapel. So it's all built in, it's all inside. So it's nice and warm in the winter, nice and dry when it rains, and nice and air conditioned when it's hot outside.
Fantastic. Yeah, so so I know you're doing a couple other side things too, because you're always open-minded to just additional streams of income. How are you building those alongside of 3 businesses?
Well,
2 of them go together.
mainly just talking to people. Mainly just talking to people. As you know, I'm always looking for extra things, but I have really, to be honest, I haven't had the time to focus on those like I would like, as much as I would like. It's been between having to move our office.
That kind of
we were not planning on moving. And, I've had some other things with my kids and stuff going on, but not planning to move. We get back from vacation, we find that we have to move. Our immediate feeling is we have to move now, even though our landlord did give us till June. We just, once March hits for us, we have very little time. So what I try to do is when I have another business that I'm trying to build, when I have my slow periods, then I focus on that business at that time. I haven't had any slow periods lately. We've probably booked and have done more weddings in January this year than we've ever done. So awesome. That's a good problem to have.
With the move.
Even with the move, that's right. Yeah. It's definitely been interesting. Yeah, we've had several meetings that we've booked in January, which last year I think we didn't book any wedding. We didn't start book. We had weddings booked. Don't get me wrong. We already had weddings booked, but we didn't get that busy rush of the beginning of the year until almost April last year. So I'm glad it's back to normal, because we're used to writing some stuff in January and then getting a little busier February and then really getting busy March and April. But with the generational change in the wedding business, we're finding that people are waiting till the last minute a lot to book that, DJ or minister or whatever. So.
Yeah, I've seen this shift too. Just I'm doing less weddings and stuff now with my photography. I'm doing a lot more corporate, but I've had some pretty big meetings this month or January that's setting things up for the year, which is pretty amazing. So I think it's great that this year things are just starting off early. People are ready to go, and they just want to get that marketing down, or but. Yeah, with the weddings, though, I feel like, too, it's like, people are last minute with that this year.
Yeah, I think it shows that the economy is doing really well. The confidence is there, even with everything going on. I just feel like people are, they're more confident. I think like last year, maybe they were hesitant to book anything until a little bit later. This year, it's like they realize there's so many people getting married that if they don't book their event, if they don't book their date and who they want, they're not going to get who they want. So because we're booking up and blacking out dates pretty quickly this year.
Oh, that's good.
Last year. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, what advice would you give to somebody who is either just starting out, wanting to kind of take the plunge to become a business owner, or they're trying to add in another type of business? They have one now and they maybe want to expand what they're doing. What advice can you give them?
My best advice, when you look at business, somebody told me this one time, and it's so true, is when you have a business or you're starting a business, you're either growing or dying. As soon as you get too comfortable in that business and you don't continue to move forward and push, that business is going to die. It's a never stop, always working every day. Some people say, oh, well, work-life balance. In our industry, it's hard to do that because we have to be there for the client. So if a client says, I can't meet you except late nights during the week, then we do that. Even though we may start working at 9 a.m. during the day, we still may be in the office till 9 at night. And if you don't love it, you're not going to make it. You've got to love it. It's because that is what keeps you going, is the love of doing that, doing that business, being with that client, making a difference. That was the main goal when we came into the wedding side of this business, was we wanted to make a difference. We wanted to try to make everybody else step up their game. We had been at a wedding. We had the DJ business. We weren't really doing weddings. We were mainly just doing other events. And we went to a wedding, and there was a company there that had been around a very long time. And I looked at my wife and I said, our newest DJ training right now could do better than this. And that's kind of what brought us into this, to be honest. And so if anything, we hope that we brought the quality up. That was kind of the main goal. I wanted to really bring the quality up, because our brides in this market are great. They deserve better. And so that is really what has pushed me all along, that and the love of the music.
Yeah, I love that the quality is kind of the main thing and what drives you. Because I know I've gotten a lot of clients because they say the photography they were using isn't available or won't work with their schedule or doesn't show up when they say they will.
Right.
Or they make them use the online booking system, but maybe the client doesn't want to book that way,
Right.
So I allow for flexibility. I have the online booking as an option for those who want that. But if you want to email or call me or text me, I can put it in my calendar myself. It's not a big deal, right? So I think you have to be able to be willing to change with the times and work with the client and what they need and figure out what it is that they need. Right. So I have a client I did a proposal for where they have 50 plus employees at 7 different locations that they want to do headshots of. Okay. So I knew the main problem for them, other than I knew they needed quality photos, wanted to make sure that I was adequate there. But the main problem I knew that they had was the scheduling for these people. They couldn't be out an entire day with all these people. So I created a scheduling program where they can send out a link to everybody, and then they just book a time slot and they'll be seen within 15 minutes of that time.
Nice. Yeah.
So, finding that solution to that problem, like you did with becoming an officiant to solve a problem you were seeing in the wedding industry.
Right.
I think you have to be able to adapt and figure out what it is that your clients need and figure out a way to be able to provide that, either you personally or have a great connection to somebody who can provide that service.
Right. Yeah, I think change and adaptability, especially nowadays, is huge. If you're a type person that doesn't like change or can't do change in our industry or in any industry now, you're going to struggle. You've got to be open to change, and you got to be willing to take some risks. I mean, we've been blessed enough that we built our company without any type of debt or funding, other than me working and putting the money back into the business.
Same here.
Yeah. And so, now we're at the point where we might use a little bit of funding here and there and then pay it off, just because you've got to have that constant cash flow. But we're always very careful not to get in too deep with that. Business ebbs and flows, especially in the wedding industry. So it's just one of those things where you just got to keep moving along, keep pushing, never give up. And, when you're starting a business, you need to realize that it's not a 9 to 5 anymore. It's going to be real hard to work 9 to 5 like you did at that previous job. You're not going to have those benefits. Lunch hours when you can find the time to eat it. There's a lot of different things. So when things are hopping, you've got to be there and be on top of it. And it takes a long time and a lot of pushing for many years to get there. So.
But I think it's worth it for anybody who has that drive, though, because touch so many more people's lives. I feel like with being a business owner, and you have a lot better income potential as well. You're not limited, and that's what you find in most jobs is you're either limited by time or if you're income, or if you're a sales professional, you could be the best salesperson and lose your job the next day. You don't have that security.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's why I went on my own. I had been through, the last territory I helped build. I think they were doing a couple $1 million in sales before it all went south. We were doing about 100 million, and I was just tired. I was tired of building somebody else, and then them walking away, and with a handful of money, and me starting all over again. So when I started doing this, I was happy making the little bit of money I was making. And then one day the doorbell rang, and I realized that their opportunity was knocking. So at that point, we started to grow. And we've been blessed. We have a lot of great team members that have come on. I guess, I say retention. We do have a great retention. So I've got quite a few people that have been with us for 7, 8, 9 years, which is a long time. And we've had a lot of people come and go that just didn't make the cut. I think they didn't realize how serious that we treat this DJ business. Even though it is a fun business, I'm pretty serious about it's got my name on it, and I want it done right. Mm-hmm. And I think once they realize that, hey, lugging all this equipment in 2 or 3 times before you even start playing music isn't what I thought DJing was. So sadly, we don't have people that, we can't afford to hire people to set the equipment up for you and pay you to DJ. It'd be nice to
get your pay.
Right, exactly. Right. If you want to, get paid 10 an hour like a normal job, maybe we could work that out. But we like to pay our individuals, our team members above and beyond what most pay, because they are a huge part of this company. More than likely, they're going to be the ones to keep it running. When the time comes, my family, they have different things that they're all involved in. So I see this being a team member company that thrives and grows, even past me being here. So that's the goal. And so that's kind of what we're working on right now.
Yeah, I love that. I do the same thing with when I do have to hire photographers to do events or even real estate shoots when I'm out of town or not available. I provide that service for my clients. I do have a small pool of photographers that I will reach out to. And I pay them above and beyond what I think any other photographer does out there. And the point being is I don't want the beginner photographer. I want a professional who knows what they're doing and can represent the company well and provide the same type of service as I personally would. And if you can't hire somebody to do that, you're going to lower the quality of your business, and that's not what we want. We want to, I know both of us are the same with this, is we want to provide the best quality service and a best experience for our clients.
Right. My motto and my goal has always been to underpromise and overdeliver. Mm-hmm. So, it's
from any successful entrepreneur is the same thing. That's the goal. That's the trick, is to, you want to underpromise, overdeliver as much as you can, because you want to exceed the expectations of your customers.
Exactly. Yeah. So being your own business person, especially when you're starting out small, if you don't have millions of dollars to start something, you become proficient at social media. You become, you learn to become proficient at sales and leadership. And I mean, I know a little bit about websites, not a lot, but enough to be dangerous and screw it up, where I have to have I finally got to the point where I could actually have a professional do my website. That was nice. So Good. I didn't have to do that anymore. And as we grow, I hire more and more people that are professional in that particular field to take over. We've tried it in the social media area so far, but we've yet to see any significant change in what we were already doing. So until we find that person, we'll keep doing it ourselves. But right now we're kind of blessed. We've got most of our business, 80 to 90% is word of mouth. So, eventually someday, hopefully the advertising will calm down. It won't be near as much. We do a bridal show each year. We're doing a couple extra this year just because it seems like we're having a good success with the bridal show. As you know, we don't try to sell them on the spot. We don't really offer any discounts. So we're not out there with spinning wheels and trying to get people to sign on the dotted line immediately. We want to sit down. We want them to meet with us, talk to us, make sure it's a good fit for everybody before we move forward. It's your wedding day, so you got to make sure that you know and like the person that's going to be there to handle the day. So that's kind of how we do things.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. So, I think that we got a lot of good content here that can add a lot of value to our viewers. So, is there any last things you want to say before we kind of end it today? Because we don't want it to go way too long. I'm not sure how long we've been on here.
Like
30 minutes already.
What do you normally do?
About 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah. People get bored after a few minutes anyway.
I know. Oh, you cut out.
Are you there?
Yeah.
The only thing I really have to say is if you have a dream that so I got an internet issue here, I think.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I can see you now. Yeah.
Okay. I think what's really important is if you have a goal or dream that you want to follow, that you follow that dream and goal, because we're only here once and who knows how long we're here. So take a chance, live a life. And, if you really love something, you'll find a way to make it work.
But yeah, if you find a job or something that you really love and you found a way to make money at that, you'll never work a day in your life.
That is correct.
That's why, I've worked way more hours now than I did in my old job too. Just like you were saying, is you find something that you love and you're passionate about, it doesn't matter. You'll work whatever hours it takes to be successful. And
right.
That's
you're not working. You're just having fun. You're doing what you love.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you, Alan, for your time.
Thank you for having me, Krista.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We'll talk soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.